Radio.
Hello, welcome to AstroEnergy with astrologer angel Shelley Overton. Hello and welcome to the May 8th, 2018 edition of the AstroEnergy Astrology Show. My name is Shelley Overton. I'm an astrologer in Orlando, Florida, and I'm excited to be here with you today. It's going to be another hot one here in Orlando. It's probably going to be on its way up to 86. I'm just checking right now because, weather. Anyway, I hope you've had a wonderful, I was 1 degree off. I didn't even look, so intuition, I guess. 85 is the high today. It's 74 right now. And we've got partly cloudy. It looks like it's probably going to rain eventually today, just from the humidity being so high. But anyway, so a lot's going on in our world right now. I don't know if you've been paying attention to everything going on, but I think the most intriguing thing to me is the volcanoes erupting in Hawaii, or the volcano. I don't know if there's more than one, but definitely we're seeing lava come out of many cracks. So anyway, we've got that going on, and it's kind of a slow burn, so to speak. And the one thing they keep saying on the news is, when will it end? Do we know how long it's going to be going on? And they all say, well, we don't know how long it's going to go on. There's no way to predict it. And that is pretty true overall, but definitely as an astrologer, you can kind of extrapolate out how long it might be. And definitely with what's going on in the sky, in the Earth planets, and also right now with Uranus at the last degrees of a fire sign, we're seeing this as a result of interplanetary energy. We have Saturn at 8 degrees Capricorn today, retrograde. We have Pluto at 21 Capricorn, retrograde. Mars at 26 Capricorn. We have Moon at 23 Aquarius. Neptune at 16 Pisces. Mercury at 22 Aries. And Mercury is coming up within 7 degrees of Uranus at 29 Aries. And so Mercury is our thought processes, and at the end degrees of a sign, it's like the concentrated kick before we change signs. So we are seeing a lot of that energy come out. Now, Mercury can also be accidents, and so having it close to Uranus, which is the unexpected, and eccentricity and unusual things, it's so many things. But anyway, Mercury and Uranus are traveling together, and they will be entering Taurus pretty close to the same time. So both of them enter, let me just see here real quick, because I know Mercury goes in just a little bit before Mars changes signs on the same day. Okay, so Mercury goes into Taurus on the 13th, which is Sunday, at 8:40 a.m. Eastern and 5:40 a.m. Pacific. We have new moon on the 15th in Taurus. We have Uranus entering Taurus at 11:16 a.m. on Tuesday of next week. We have Mars entering Aquarius, which of course is ruled by Uranus, at 9:55 p.m. Pacific and 12:55 a.m. the 16th in the Eastern time zone. And let's see, and also the moon enters Mercury ruled Gemini at 4:43 on the same day as the 15th. So I think it's safe to say that we're going to have a lot of electrical energy, a lot of air energy, and it's going to be expressed also through earth energy. So, let's just kind of take it around the zodiac right now and make it a little bit easier. And if you want to call in for a reading, the number's 347-994-3365. And you can just push 1. That lets me know that you would like to ask a question. Okay, so I've got the chart for now set up to a natural rising, which means Aries at 0 degrees is on the horizon, so that it makes it kind of easier for everyone who listens to this to kind of understand more in a general sense what's going on, so that it's not specific to Orlando. I'm doing that today. I'm not going to guarantee I will do it every day, but Yeah, so Aries on the horizon puts a couple of planets, Mercury and Uranus, in the first house. And, I've talked about the houses. If you're not familiar with what the houses are, they are all assigned the energy of the sign that is on the cusp of every house. And there are 12 houses. A house is just a division of sky, or the energy that's associated with a part of the sky around the earth, and is connected to the energy of the constellations and the zodiac. But each compartment of that sky has the archetype of that particular sign, and that particular sign is archetypal in the same way that the planet rules it is. So Aries on the horizon, Mars rules Aries. Aries and Mars are synonymous with that particular house. So anyway, that's just a quick rundown of what the houses are. And so we've got Mercury and Uranus, and that's pretty much the theme of this show, is electrical energy. So the elements of the zodiac, so earth, fire, water, and air, each have their own realm, so to speak. And each of the realms, when we interact on the earth plane, we have an expression of energy, and that's an element. Well, there are many ways to define it. There's polarity, which is opposite signs, and quadruplicities, which are the division of different segments of the chart as they relate. I'll get into that another time. And then we have the elements, and the elements are of the earth, so earth, fire, water, air. The earth elements are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. The fire elements are Aries, Leo, and Aquarius, Libra, and Gemini. And water is Pisces. These are not in order, by the way. Pisces, Scorpio, and Cancer. So when we talk about air signs, we talk about the signs that are ruled by the energy of air, or electrical. Electrical energy, electrical signs, Gemini, Aquarius, and Libra, express energy through thought. They receive energy through synapses and the nervous system. So when we have strong air energy in the sky, we are more capable of losing focus in a linear fashion. So energy comes in at us electrically. We get nervous, we get anxious, we don't feel grounded, we have our thoughts scattered. They're all over the place. They go from thought to thought to thought, and we're mostly up our heads. We can have difficulty sleeping because we can't shut our minds off. And so when we see all these planets in an air sign, so right today, well, the moon and the sun are lights, and the moon is in Aquarius, and the south node is in Aquarius. So Aquarius energy is the most, I would say, pure form of electrical energy that we feel. It is an energy of telling information. We just understand it almost as if it was just infused into us through our thoughts. And so when we see a planet go through that sign, it triggers this higher understanding, wisdom, and knowledge of whatever part of our chart it falls in. And so the ruler of Aquarius is Uranus. And Uranus brings that understanding and clarity and kind of clutter clearing energy to wherever it falls. And currently at 29 Aries, it is clearing the clutter. And the clutter is mindset that there is only one energy that's in charge or powerful or the voice of all of the people. And it will also be this way when Uranus gets to the end of Taurus, only it'll be about femininity. So what happens is, this is going to probably be a little bit more involved than I was going to get, but I'm going to tell you anyway. So the first house is Aries. It's masculine. The second house is Taurus. It's feminine. First house ruled by Mars. Second house ruled by Venus. The third house is ruled by Gemini and the planet of Mercury. Mercury is a gender-neutral planet. It's seen as both masculine and feminine, or just asexual. It doesn't really have a gender. It can go either way because it's intellectual. So when we have planets go through Aries, we get the very pure masculine energy. When we have them Taurus, we get the feminine energy. And when they go into Gemini, we lose track of gender and go for thought and linearity and intellect. So now that planets are at the concentrated end degrees of Aries, especially the ones that rule thought, communication, travel, intellect, and the nervous system, we're seeing this feeling, this heightened awareness of agitation. Our thoughts are more agitated. That's what Mercury in Aries does. It gets us riled up because the energy of Aries, it rules the blood, which I find very interesting that as a general overview, they like getting their blood up, their blood pumping. And how they do that is through anger and through aggression. They're like, yeah, it's adrenaline. It's making my heart race. It's getting that blood flowing. So when we have planets in there, that's what is going on. We're agitated. Mercury is our thoughts. Right now, we're more frustrated with people and agitated over people not thinking like us. And maybe even masculine energy coming in, and it's aggressive energy, and it's the purest form of male energy. It's not just the center section, the center 10 degrees or decant of Aries. It's the end. It's concentrated expression of this energy before it lets loose into the new sign. So coming up, I'm going to look at what time. Okay, so 13th, Monday, Mercury at 8:40 a.m. Eastern goes into Taurus, which is so apropos because mothers and women and females. So I think will definitely help us get along with our moms on Mother's Day, speaking as someone who may have issues with that. But Mercury at the end degrees joining up with Uranus. Uranus expression is unexpected but mass. It's about the people, the collective. And Uranus is about the collective. Mercury is about individuals, but it is still a lesser intensity of the same expression of electricity, thought, communication, travel, and how we express it through Aries. So Aries is fire. We're seeing this electrical energy, this agitation, this frustration, intellect expressing out through fire and masculine energy. So what does that mean? It means that this week, coming up towards the movement of next Tuesday of Uranus into Taurus and Mercury into Taurus, I would say heightened Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday are the most rocking and rolling days we're going to see this. And I'm not saying that Friday isn't going to also be included, because it probably will. But I mean, I'll just look it over here. That's kind of what I wanted to talk about, is the Mercury Uranus and how they are right at the same point of the sky. They are both bringing out that energy in a concentrated form. It's the lava flow. I was watching electrical lines go down. I was watching the lava swallow a car, which is a Gemini expression, transportation. And so it's just really probably even Plutonian, because we have Pluto, which rules lava and volcanism, in Capricorn, which is the sign of structure. So all the homes are under that auspice as the lava flow happens. So not only that, but Mars now is at 26 Capricorn, right near Pluto. So interestingly, Mars is a lesser octave of Pluto. So Mars gets us aware of our agitation and wants to go to war. Pluto will actually not only go to war, but takes no prisoners, and they're right next to each other as well. And they are directly squaring, almost to the degree. So we have Pluto squaring Mercury today, 21 Pluto at 20 and 22 Mercury. We have Mars at 26 Capricorn, squaring Uranus at 22, which of course squares Mercury. And so these massive planetary shifts are changing the structure, the physical structure, Capricorn, of our Earth. Capricorn and Pluto, lava, fire, Mars, fire, Aries, fire. So part of the fallout, not only from that, but also in other areas of the world, is going to be electrical. And I don't know if you've been feeling it, have Mercury. I felt it last week, as the show would have you see. It was, whenever I talk Mercury, and, bless Mercury, I don't want the Mercury energy derailing me today. But, it's intense, and we feel it in our computers, in our phones. I've had so many anomalies going on with my phone and my computer. My computer, which was brand new almost exactly a year ago, and I took it in to get looked at because the screen was going wackadoodle. And they're like, well, unless you back the whole thing up, we really can't guarantee you won't lose everything you've got on it. And I wasn't prepared to do that at the time. And then I upgraded my system, and of course everything was fine until now, when Uranus and Mercury are together, and I'm getting the same thing again. So you're going to see almost like a Mercury retrograde energy for the next week, and maybe a little bit beyond. But as Mercury goes into Taurus, it means it'll be more about the material goods. It'll be the things that we have desired, and may do things for our lives to make them better. Like, I know Cancer and Capricorn can rule more the home or the work environment, but even appliances, if they're something like a beautiful KitchenAid or something like, can be affected when Mercury goes into Taurus. Cars, relationships, love, all that can be affected. So, I could probably monologue on. Well, I know I can about astrology, which is why I have a podcast. But that kind of gives you a really solid overview of what's coming up. And Mercury, Mercury and Uranus acting almost one. And so look for potential explosions. I don't wish bad on anybody, but I do know that there are certain aspects that warrant a good warning, and this is one of them. This is unexpected through masculine means. It is aggression. It's going to be probably heightened incidents in the public eye, because Mercury would say, oh, I'm going to shoot up my school or my family. Now it's joining with Uranus. And now it's going to be, mass outages and things that affect groups of people. I want to also say, and I know I have a very far-reaching show. I touch all over the globe, according to the statistics. And, Hawaii is just one place, but definitely, again, if you're anywhere, watch Dutch Sense, DUTCHSANSE. It's on YouTube. He talks about the volcanoes. He talks about earthquakes. And I tell you, he doesn't necessarily have the connection to astrology to understand timing. He sees connection on the earth in a material way between energy shifting. But I can tell you, as an astrologer, it is going to be a heightened week. It is going to be a significant week. And he's been mentioning on his shows that what's going on in the volcanoes in Hawaii is the same exact thing that was happening when Fukushima had its issue with the earthquake and the tsunami in 2011. So I would not be surprised if there's a connection to that again, or something on the Pacific Rim where we're going to see a massive earthquake. And so anybody who listens to this who's in earthquake zone, watch his show, get yourself aware of what's going on. It is significant with this square between Capricorn, Pluto, Mars, and Aries, Mercury, Uranus. So, and we have a trine going on between Jupiter and Neptune. And so that's also, that's a really good lava flow energy, because Jupiter is in Scorpio, again, volcanism, and it's for energy, but it's also learning and growing and transient. So it can bring a shift of people. It can bring the move, the collective move, and it can be a collective awareness. There's a square of Jupiter and Scorpio to the moon in Aquarius today. And we also have that trine with Neptune, which is water, oil, lava, any liquid form of earth, anywhere on the earth that has liquid flowing, like geysers, lava, water, oceans, waterfalls, anything like that. In our personal world, it is going to affect our emotions. It's going to affect the flow of money. It can also be a positive energy for money too, because we have Scorpio, which rules joint finances. We have Jupiter, which is very laissez-faire and doesn't worry about it too deeply, which honestly, it's right my natal Neptune moon conjunction in Scorpio, so I feel that. I feel a little bit more positive about money right now, so you may be feeling that as well. And then in Aquarius, the reason that they have are at odds in what they believe is Moon is also needing security. Aquarius, so I can't get my mouth going. Um, Moon in Aquarius is much more detached from the normal insecurities of the home and family life. And so it isn't about the security. So even though they're squaring and there can be some energy, again, Aquarius is the unexpected, there's also this energy of having a resistance and learning the lesson afterwards. So that can bring about something along the lines of education. It can bring about joint finances, partnerships, commitment to partners, and interacting with people of other like-minded groups and situations where we're connected to networking or other people. So let me see if there's anything else that jumps out at me here. Yeah, the moon is also sextile Uranus and Mercury, which is really interesting because, of course, the ruling planet of Uranus is in Aries, about to go into Taurus, and the moon is there right now. So the moon is actually gathering information. And so what this can mean in our lives, or even in the social spectrum, is the moon is detached. That we're a lack of connectedness to a nurturer or a mother figure in our world, and we're really starting to express out that energy, that newness, which is also Aries. Aries, Uranus is newness and throwing away things that are no longer relevant, and working in a positive, in tandem, positively build something new in our lives. So that's a positive aspect. And we also have Sun at 17 Taurus today, which is trining Pluto. So again, if you've listened to the show for any length of time, you know trines for me, I see upheaval also with trines, but followed by something positive that comes from it. So Sun is ego in money. So this is the financial markets, economics, and could be world goods, retail, and it's a shift around that. It's definitely going to be a shift around retail, and this is the last thing I'm going to say about it before I take a break, because we have a few more callers today. I want to get to everybody today, but Sun in Taurus and then Mercury and Uranus in Taurus means there's going to be a cleaning house on an economic / financial level. So next week, we're probably going to see the markets going berserk. There's probably going to be a huge shift of release. So people will be letting go of stocks, which can make the market drop. But at the same time, there will be good news probably in the tech arena, and tech will start to build again. Tech is always, Uranus is tech, and Uranus going into Taurus is going to be an increase around retail online, which we've been seeing anyway, but even broader. And then because Uranus by nature is eccentric or unusual, that can also mean that there's more of a localized, and that's also Aquarian / Uranian, localized looking for goods and services. So I definitely see an increase of the mentality of independence away from a larger entity and much more localized, giving money to local services and retail. And so it's going to be an upheaval in the market around tech doing well, but yet using the energy that's coming in to really improve smaller individual businesses and entrepreneurship, which Uranus rules. So there's a lot of information for you this week, so I would suggest you maybe listen to it twice, just because it's going to be probably hard to take it all in. And that's why I record the reads I do for people. And it's a good thing that this is recorded because you can miss a lot of it just listening the first time, especially if you're learning astrology and it's all kind of new to you. We have Venus at 16 Gemini in conjunct to Jupiter today. Females, Gemini is a masculine energy and it is expressive through Mercury. So there's a lot of that more coming out, more assertive and aggressive, but it's also friendly if you look to that. I guess I have, I know someone who is an Aries rising with a couple planets in fire signs, and she likes to express herself. She's pretty quiet, but at times when she's frustrated, she can hit, and that it, of course, is not a cool thing. But I can tell you that's kind of the energy we have today. Venus in Gemini wants to express a lot, and it's in cooperation with Mercury and Aries, and so there's a side of that energy that's like it's okay to express in a more aggressive way, and so that can bring that kind of energy out. Taurus, definitely, the physical world, it can be much more physical in its expression of frustration. And then Venus in conjunct to Jupiter, this is education. I don't particularly like that. Venus is also in conjunct to Pluto today, and then of course, going around the zodiac, Pluto is squaring Uranus, Mercury. It is probably an energy that is more inclined towards schools and religious organizations. So if you hear something, and interestingly, I just remembered the Met Gala was last night, and they had, I thought it was theme Heavenly Bodies, but apparently it goes farther than that. It was Heavenly Bodies, Catholic symbolism or something like that. So that would be totally in keeping with the Jupiter Venus and Gemini energy coming in right now. So my guess is there probably will be backlash from that just because of what's going on planetarily today. But also, we tend to protect our religious views, and having something like that, it's creative, it's expressive, and honestly, that may not always be in alignment with the powers that be. So it'll be interesting to see what happens, what the conversation is from the Met Gala. Anyway, that's all I'm going to talk about today with the and then we're going to take some calls here. I'm just going to take a quick break, and let's take some Lindahl here. This is really nice flute music for a few minutes. welcome back. You are listening to the AstroEnergy Astrology Show with me, astrologer Shelley Overton. And if you would like to get a private reading with me, you can get me at astrologerangel.com or angeliczodiac. And yeah, so welcome back. I am happy to be here and talk to everybody. So let's take a caller. 920. Hi, how are you?
Hi, Shelley. How are you?
Good. Who am I talking to for the audience?
Jennifer.
Hi, Jennifer. I've got July 22nd.
Yep.
Okay. What can I do for you today?
Okay, so I guess I'm doing my internship this summer. I know you have a little bit of an idea of what I'm doing right now, and I'm actually leaving to go to Nepal in a week, less than a week. And I'm going to be gone throughout the entire summer. And I guess I'm just kind of wondering anything that you see in my chart that's going on.
Okay. Could you refresh my memory on what you're doing? And also the audience members who haven't listened to the show before may not know. So it would really help if you could give them a little bit broader. You said, you're going to Nepal. Is it just a spiritual quest or,
No, it's for an internship.
Internship. Okay.
Textile design student. So I'm actually going to work, with artisans in Kathmandu.
Lovely.
So, yeah.
Oh, my goodness. That's a phenomenal trip.
Yeah.
Well,
I think kind of what I'm looking for is things have been pretty crazy just with school, and I just got done moving and, just having to leave my family. Lots of things going on.
Well,
in everything.
Aspect. Okay, for those, for you and for everyone listening, your chart has Pluto at 20 degrees in Scorpio, which is only 4 degrees off of the top of your chart. That's what we call the midheaven, and it's where the spotlight shines. It's also the cusp of the house of career, and then at the opposite side, it is the cusp of home and family. Right there on that cusp, you have pretty intense energy going on with Jupiter in Scorpio within 2 degrees of that very Pluto. So that's major changes. Jupiter is travel. Jupiter also rules religion and spirituality. So the fact that you're going to Kathmandu is probably not just a textile trip for you, but will have probably far-reaching spiritual effects on you as well. Very profound. And then the other intersection is Capricorn rising 20 degrees, Pluto in transit. So the one I talked about first is your natal Pluto is being triggered by Jupiter. This one is transiting Pluto in the sky, is 1 degree into your first house. So it just came into your first house, which is a huge part of how you see yourself. You're reshaping your identity, literally. That's what that's about. And then you have Mars there at 26 also. So Mars just went into your first house. So you've been having these planets in your 12th house where you've been going through that inner universe kind of upheaval for probably close to 12 years. And now it's in your first house, so you get it there. But you also are shifting how you look at the structure of life and how you relate life as you know it. And then you have Saturn and Aquarius in your first house. So today you have Moon in Aquarius. That is also very chaotic energy, theoretically. I say theoretically because generally Aquarians are very intellectual. They're the genius of the zodiac. But what happens is we live in a linear world. Right now we're in a very Capricornian world, which is like, no, this is the way it's always been. This is the only way it can be. And Aquarius doesn't see life in a line. It sees it scattered from different dimensions. So when you try and lay down this linear way of seeing things on something that's meant to be seen in 3 dimensions, you're going to have a clash. That's kind of what's going on in your first house of identity. Is you've got all this, and not only that, you have Sun, Venus, and Mercury, and Chiron in Leo opposite all this Capricorn Aquarius energy. So
yeah,
your chart's like supercharged for change and upheaval and dramatic movement. And so that's part of what's going on. And at the same time, you've got that Leo, just, your sun is 0 degrees Leo, and it's right there next to Venus on the cusp of Virgin partnership. And then opposite, just about to go into Aquarius, and then Pluto goes in the next 5 years, but you'll be feeling it on and off as it's in the last 10 degrees of Capricorn against that whole energy in your chart. So it's really a very strong time of moving to the next phase of your life. And and you've got natal moon being triggered by Uranus also, because you have natal moon at 1 degree Taurus. So Uranus and Mercury are hitting your moon when it goes in on Tuesday of next week, and Saturday through Tuesday is very big for family, communicating with mom, what's going on. It really is a push towards independence for you. You've got mom in Taurus, so it's very practical. You have the energy, so having moon in Taurus in the third house, which is thought and communications, you need to understand things and be really secure about them before go and do it, per se. And you have Mars at the last degrees of Taurus in the house of home family. So you're really kind of sheltered in a way with the family. They're your safety structure. And you've got Uranus just ready to go out into the world, into a new reality. And that's coming. When do you leave? What day do you actually leave?
On Monday.
Monday? Yeah.
Yeah.
So Mercury just gets in, and then followed on the next day by that. Now, so you'll be getting into Kathmandu on Tuesday?
On Wednesday.
Wednesday.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So it really is that's profound. Having Uranus move into Taurus on the day you go out of the country. This is what I mean by when you look at astrology, things happen in your life. Whether you realize these events are going on in the planets, your life kind of follows along anyway. And so you're right where you need to be. I honestly wouldn't worry. What I would do is play the crap out of what you're doing, because it's going to be a phenomenal awakening and experience. The colors and the people and the spirituality and the mountain. Oh my goodness. I just can't even. What a great thing. So
yeah. I feel like it's exactly like everything that you say, just going into a new phase, because I'm graduating in December, and I've kind of been wondering, what am I going to do with this degree? And I know that what I want to do kind of has to be and on the side. So I've been thinking about getting my teaching certificate, because I can do that online and doing elementary school teaching. So I guess I'm wondering anything that you see with that too, if that.
I see the teacher in your chart, Jupiter in Virgo.
Okay.
Is definitely a teacher. Saturn in Aquarius predisposes you towards a very strong connection to online technology, independence, autonomy, entrepreneurship, and science. And so, if you bring in any of those things to the teaching situation, yes, I can see you doing it. Aquarius is very humanitarian. So, it'd be like doing something for children who need it, and probably a trip to Nepal is going to trigger some of that in you. And Saturn on Uranus, you've got Saturn 7 degrees off of your Uranus-Neptune conjunction, which is also going to bring in that it's a shift. Having Saturn, which is, number one, Capricorn is karma. It's ruled by Saturn. Saturn is life purpose. It's in your 12th house of the subconscious, so there's something there that's being triggered by the Saturn transit. You just had Pluto going through that same house, so there was a major shift in how you see authority and responsibility. And having Saturn, it's kind of like Pluto went through and triggered your Uranus-Neptune in Capricorn and said, do you remember this? Wake up, wake up. This is something you need to pay attention to. And then now Saturn's coming through saying, okay, this is no longer pay attention. This is now you have to own it, and this is something significant for you. So in the next year and a half, that's going to be triggered. Now Uranus, again, humanitarianism, and Neptune is feeling everything from everybody. So this is another big shift you're going to have. I'm telling you, my son was born in 98. You were born in 92. those years with Uranus, Neptune joined together are very powerful for a shift in the world, in society. So you're coming into the global change, and you're born to help us all change to a new way of looking at the world. It's very significant.
Wow.
I guess I'm trying to really emphasize it, because you don't, like, we live our lives day to day, earn our money, go get gas, but this is significant. This is like, our world is never going to be the same after the next decade. It's going to shift from probably a more external driven world to an internal driven world, and the connectedness we all have. It's going to shift so much because our understanding of who we are as people is opening up like an egg being cracked wide open. And our geode would probably be a better example. Like, it's an ugly little rock on the outside, and you crack it open, and there's this amazing crystal inside that we never knew was there. That's what we're doing in the next 10 years. So It's pretty phenomenal. And for you, and I'm very excited for you. For you to go to Nepal, I mean, I'm Buddhist. I'm not Tibetan Buddhist, but that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
I mean, that's so amazing. So you're going to be really affected in a profound way by that. So if you do end up teaching, yes, you've got teaching in there. But what I look to is Saturn and Mars, and your Mars is in Taurus, which rules the textiles. But Uranus is, it's more about doing a business for yourself. So the textile business, it's starting your own company, I could see being a really viable thing for you. And I think that if you want to incorporate classes or teach in some capacity, you could do that. And maybe you can include children and teach them about what you love to do. So, incorporate it. It'll be awesome.
Well, ultimately, I would like to be an art teacher.
Oh, wonderful. Well, that would be doable. Yeah. You've got all that Leo energy. It'd be awesome.
Yeah.
So, well, please be safe. Enjoy your heck out of your trip. So excited for you. You're welcome.
Thanks.
And take care, Jennifer. And let me know how it goes. I'm excited. Remind me of this and tell me, because, I talk to a lot of people, so I have to be reminded, okay?
Okay. Sounds good. Thank you so much.
Thanks. Take care.
All right.
You too.
Bye.
Safe travels. Bye-bye. Okay, we're going to take 817. Hi, 817. How are you?
Oh, hey, Shelley. This is Nancy. How are you?
Hi, Nancy. I'm doing well. What's up in your world?
Well, I'm wondering if this. I've had Uranus in my Aries forever, and of course, lots of upheaval and changes over the last 7 years. Curious, with it shifting to Taurus, I'm also hopefully about ready to switch careers to part-time and 2 different careers, 2 part-time jobs. I'm wondering if this is, of course, financially, I'm thinking, is this a good move? Uranus and Taurus kind of messes with money because it's Taurus, so I don't know.
It does, but for you, I would say, let me see, your Saturn's in the first house, late degrees Capricorn, so of course Pluto's right on that in your first house, kind of similar to Jennifer, because let's see, yeah, she had a 20-degree Capricorn rising, you have a 13-degree Capricorn rising, so a lot of similar affected houses. So let's see, you've got Pluto sitting 7 degrees off your Saturn, and Jupiter is at 2 degrees Aquarius, so Mars will be on your Jupiter. That's a pretty positive thing. And I would say what I see for you, and it's starting now, and Uranus into Taurus, starting a business. You can do a couple different things because, well, you said you were anyway. You have a couple different jobs. That makes sense. But you're in the third house. It's influenced by Mercury. Of course, Mercury's there also. So the Mercury connection is education, learning, or writing, or some type of expression. So you could, right now, particularly, you could incorporate some type of writing or journaling or broadcasting into what you do. But as Uranus goes forward, and this is probably not until next year, it's going to be in your house of home and family, which is when you bring whatever you're doing into your home and family. That's when you're going to want to have a lot more freedom around the family, and you might be more entrepreneurial there. As Pluto gets closer to Aquarius, that bug is going to get stronger and stronger. Right now, with the Pluto on your Saturn, you're still pretty enmeshed in the corporate dynamic. That's still kind of a strong enough thing in your chart where it feels, I mean, you're probably, like I said, you're probably starting to feel more of like, I don't really want to do that. But I think that it's going to be more enmeshed in a couple years as opposed to right now. You're wrapping up the story.
I was just recently offered my old part-time job back that I left to go into the corporate world I swore I'd never go back to. And so I could jump in. I know. It's like it happened like 2.5 years ago. And now it's come back around, the same job, 3 days a week, working with someone I've known since fourth grade. So it's very non-corporate. And I also wanted to shift into trying real estate, which I've never done. So
cool.
If I could shift into the 3 day a week, that would open up an opportunity to give the other thing a try. And so, but again, of course, the money in the back of my mind, and thank you for clarifying why I didn't sleep last night with all this energy. What the heck? Two nights ago, up all night long, could not sleep. I'm like, what the heck is going on?
Moon in Aquarius. Moon, I tell you, I have the worst nights when the moon's in Aquarius. And last time I was in Aquarius, it was full. It was full moon in Aquarius last month. So I was like my mind was bouncing off the rafters. But it's there again now. So that's part of it. It's really like turning a light bulb on. Even when it's not a full moon, it's like bing, and your mind's just ding, 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 ding. Mm-hmm.
All right, so I guess the changes that come whether I like it or not, and whether I jump now or not. It's just that this opportunity of the comfortable 3 day part-time job won't be around again if I don't take it this time.
I see.
Because it's so it's kind of feeling like I'd be crazy not to take it because it won't be come back again. So I just want to make
Jupiter rules in my book. Jupiter rules real estate and real estate sales. And right now it is in your career house. It's in Scorpio. So it's really bringing out a lot more of the deeper psychological issues you have around hierarchy and hierarchical structures. So it's more like, what Scorpio in the 10th house does is integrity becomes incredibly important for you. And like having that integrity in your career or in the corporate workplace is extremely important. Jupiter retrograde, of course, I mentioned this when it did go retrograde a couple weeks ago, that it triggers those scandals, those sex scandals. So it does bring out like all the dark side of life and things people do behind closed doors. And so that's there. When it goes direct, which is in July, you have this right now it's retrograde, so it's moving back towards your Neptune. It'll be at 13, so I'm just giving you a perspective. Your Neptune is at 10 degrees, your midheaven is at 8, so your Neptune is right on your midheaven. So you have a very strong life drive to have integrity and to be, you merge. You like seriously on two levels. Scorpio wants to merge with partners, and Neptune just merges with the energy of other people. So you, like wherever you're at, that becomes your energy. So you have to be really cautious where you are because you absorb the energy of the people and the place around you. So Jupiter went over that point at the end of last year, and then in early this year, January, and then now it went almost to the end into like 23 degrees, and then it's going, of course, it's going to get almost right on your Neptune. It'll be 3 degrees off your Neptune when it stops, and that's in July. And so you're kind of, along with our last caller, she had Pluto at the midheaven, you have Neptune at the midheaven, but it's still kind of, it'll bring out those issues of, is this an ideal situation for me, major life change, and for her, it was more like the hidden mystery. For you, it's more about, are you listening to your spirituality? Are you going where faith is having you go? And so I would say, I tend to say yes to everybody I do chart because we naturally key into where we are going just because the planets kind of push that direction. So people are like, I don't know what I'm doing. Like, yeah, but you're supposed to be where you're at. Jupiter is awakening you to your intuitive ability and helping you to move to the next level spiritually. And that may also be included in what you're doing. Okay, so it's interesting because you have I'm just looking here real quick at your chart. And I don't have any other callers. I had a few, but I think they got impatient and they dropped off. So you've got a few minutes with me. I'm giving a little extra reading because if anybody wants a reading, they can call in now because I got some time. If not, that's fine. So Jupiter is really opening you up and wanting you to expand and move to some other energy, to some other consciousness. Do you feel that, happening?
Totally. And I moved to Arkansas, Hot Springs, in the middle of Crystal Country, and I'm surrounded by nothing but spiritual people.
Beautiful.
All the people I hang out with are into spiritual.
I think I remember that. Yeah.
Yeah, it was a leap, but we're down. The energy is awesome here, and the people are awesome, and there's a lot of opportunity to learn from these people who are a lot further evolved spiritually than I am, because they've been doing this 10 years longer than I am, and they have embedded it in their whole life. I've worked in corporate America, and I know I've meant to do this, but Mark, my husband, he's also stepping into it as well, and we have the same wheel, so it doesn't surprise me. But it's just a nervy, my corporate America, Saturn in the first house, you need to have a responsible job. You can't be doing part-time and rely on something else.
Well, but you also have Virgo planets, which answer to Mercury. And let me see what else. Where's your Mercury? Your Mercury's in the second house of money, and it's also in Pisces. So, the moon today is just into your house of money in Aquarius. So it's like letting go of things, detaching from things you don't need. But then it goes into Pisces, and the Chiron South Node Mercury means that you have a karmic connection, past life or bringing into this life, that more faith-based will all work out. So looking at your chart with Neptune at the midheaven in Scorpio, and then the three entities in your second house of money in Pisces, money and career are connected to faith and belief and vision, being visionary, seeing it how you want it. And then you have the fortune, honestly, of having Saturn in the first house saying, I'm going to rely on myself and I'm going to make it happen. And you're a manifester. I mean, the first house is the Aries energy, and Saturn is, okay, we're going to just do this thing. And then you have Mars in Cancer, and Mars in Cancer is nothing if not a worker. So, and that's in the house of work. And Cancer's in the house of work. And then you have the three planets so you have two planets in Virgo in the North Node, which is fortune, in the house of money from work. So looking at your chart, I would say not only do you have the ability to make it happen, but you have the vision to do whatever it is you want to do. So you've got that vision and you make it happen. So, I wouldn't worry that you're not going to be able to do it. I mean, honestly, Libra and Pisces both have issues with money, but I think that your issues with money are necessarily as ingrained as somebody who has less Capricorn in their chart. So I think you have, and definitely Neptune at the midheaven, probably I would say your Achilles heel is having your Neptune at the midheaven, because Scorpio is so passionate and intense that having Neptune in Scorpio can be very idealistic, and that can get in your way. So you're passionately about truth and integrity and loyalty, and you didn't do that the way I thought you should do that. That's ridiculous. I can't trust you anymore. So that's your midheaven in your career, and so I would say you have kind of a whistleblower energy in your chart.
Totally.
So
I said if I ever had kids, that'd be the worst PTA mother from hell. I didn't have kids, so.
Oh, that's interesting. Yeah. Saturn in the first, and I always think of Aries as children, because Aries energy is newborn kids, and that's they just express that purest form of drive. I am here and I need my needs met right now, whatever it is, and that's that Aries energy. They're just nope, right now, I need to do it. You've got it. Exactly. So the Saturn in the first house can also restrict that. And usually people who don't end up having kids is a Saturn in the fifth house, I've noticed. But you can also potentially in the 4th with the family, but I have Saturn in the 4th and I don't have any issues. Although I did have difficult pregnancies. That was not, I mean, I did have kids and I had to wait a long time. So there was, I guess, a little bit of Saturn restriction in that. So, yeah.
So
is there anything else?
Position to get, actually, more importantly, is I need to take my real estate exam, and I've been putting it off because I'm, of course, want to make sure I'm completely ready in this study. And
I would say
need to do it
at the end of the year, if you could. End of the year. Jupiter goes into Sagittarius in your house of career. That's when I get happening. If you want to put it off till like November, December, you'll be perfectly fine, and that would be okay. And it would actually be more in alignment with that kind of career in your chart.
I think if I get the pass the exam in the next week or two, I'll slowly train and learn and understand, and then towards the end of the year,
that's valid.
May jump into it more at the end of the year. I could see that happening.
Yeah, so if you want to just have the career, at the end, like start actually taking houses for sale at the end of the year, that would be fine. And you also have that Aries in your 3rd house, so that's the drive for sales. You're a saleswoman because Aries is my sign of the salesperson, and Saturn in the 1st can be a salesperson. Jupiter in the 1st, definitely that's what I consider an energy of real estate. So, and entrepreneurship, Jupiter in Aquarius, you're going to, I see you doing it for yourself for sure. And of course, Mars is just going to be in Aquarius soon. So if you want to, let me see. Aquarius would be a really good energy to have Mars in Aquarius because you'll be like, oh, this is so easy. This is a no-brainer kind of energy. If you take the test when that happens, let me just see when Mars goes into, Aquarius on the 17th of May. So anytime after the 17th, it would also be good. And retrogrades. Yeah, do it before the end of June because Mars retrogrades in Aquarius in June.
Oh, we don't want that. No, I'm hoping to take the test in the next 2 weeks, so.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Wait till after the 17th. It's 9 days.
No, I've been studying because it's a pretty intensive exam, and a lot of people don't. They fail the first time. So
okay.
I mean, my perfectionist self doesn't want to go in there and waste my time and not feel like I'm ready. So anyway, but okay. So I'll keep you posted on all these changes that are coming. But I'm looking forward to getting Aquarius out of Aries Uranus out of Aries because it's been a little bit of a railroad, run around the last couple of years. So thanks, Shelley. And anybody who wants to read with her, she is fabulous. She's awesome.
Aw, you're so sweet. Thanks a lot, Nancy.
Well, I've had more than one with you, and it's definitely worth it. Thanks.
Yeah, I appreciate it. Okay, take care. Bye. All right, that's the show for today. Thank you so much for stopping by. We're obviously have a rockin' and rollin' show next week. Stick with me. I anticipate could be some issues electrically because Uranus and Mercury, Taurus, but they might actually surprise me and make it a really wonderful show. So anyway, check it out next week, and I'll see you then. Bye.
Today's sales leaders face a difficult task, selling the right products at the right time through the right channels. A new 3-day program from Harvard Business School Executive Education addresses this problem directly. Join us on the Boston campus in August for Managing Sales Teams and Distribution Channels, where you will discover strategies that can lead to the best sales performance. Learn more by clicking the banner or visiting hbs.me/sales. That's hbs.me/sales.
To subscribe, please click the picture of Shelley on the right or the red button below.